as a human, when we see a kid, we try to intimidate with them to get very much friendly with them. So here the girl have to face this kind of problems every day because their guest doesn't know what is the situation with that girl. So now Mr. Dhanga, the narrator, came with an idea. First, he was very nervous, very scared. Like, what if I again,
Good morning, teacher.
good morning. What if I again upset them with my idea? What if they don't like my idea? What will happen if I do this, that? This kind of negative thoughts came around Mr. Dhanda, but still he got the courage. He collected all his courage, and then he went there, suggested the idea, and the idea was to write the cheats, to write the situation on the cheats and give that cheats to the guest. Now, what they are writing, what was written in that cheat? Wait a minute, huh? Let me have a sip of water. So what was written in the on that cheat? That as a daughter is deaf and dumb, you may hurt her by trying to be friendly too soon, as she can neither understand nor reply to your kind words. You are requested to please give her time to approach you and make your acquaintance. Thank you. So this message was written on that cheat. Now, and now they made the cheat, they are giving it to the guest. So the idea worked well, even beyond their expectation. They were not expecting much, but still it worked very well. So, few sympathetic, sahanubhuti wale questions were still up to the parents. Like, still there were guests who used to ask some sympathetic questions to the parents, but the poor child, yani ki bichari child, was spared. Later after, now girl is slowly begin to, get friendly with all the guests. And many of the guests were like very happy, even though the girl was very happy. Now Bhandari felt revealed. Like now half of, like more than half the problem is solved, like even if it is a temporarily solved. But one day they had a strange visitor. Okay, so it was late afternoon. Mr. Handa, the narrator, was talking to the landlord about some packed lunch that he needed for the next day. So he was planning a short excursion. That means, you know, a short journey to take for pleasure, सैर करने जाना for to the nearby caves, the group of nearby caves. But the landlord was in a hurry, arranging things for a new guest who had booked a room for the season and was supposed to be moving in any moment. He was arriving by the mail train. So here the narrator is talking to the landlord about the tomorrow's lunch. He needed a tiffin for him to take with him, but now the landlord is busy arranging all the things for the new guest who can be arrived at any moment. So here, a young man, barely 25, he was about 25-year old by the appearance. He came in, and a porter
Good
was
afternoon,
carrying his
teacher.
luggage. Good morning. Because of the journey, he looked very untidy. His hair, his necktie, his shoes,
टीचर
all
आपकी आवाज
unkempt.
नहीं आ रही।
Unkempt yani ki, unkempt yani ki dirty. Are all unkempt
Teacher, can
and
I
needing
check?
attention. What?
What?
What do you want to say? Okay, let me continue. They were all dirty and they were needing attention. But he had a cheerful face, smile. He was really a good. man by from his appearances. He was having
टीचर आप
so now
आपका वॉइस
Mr.
ब्रेक हो रहा
Darwin
है.
stepped forward and asked, Mr. David, I presume, like, मुझे लगता है कि आप मेरे ख्याल से मिस्टर डेविड like that. The young man looked closely. उसने ध्यान से गौर से नजदीक से देखा. At his face, smiled and nodded. मुस्कुराया और बोला, ऐसा मुंडी हिला के बोला कि हाँ. बोला नहीं, सिर्फ इशारा किया. Nodded. Room number 18 please. Everything is ready. यहाँ पे क्या बोला? Room number 18. आपका रूम नंबर 18 है. एवरीथिंग इज रेडी. हर चीज अब रेडी है. तो यहाँ से हमको करना है कंटिन्यू. हु वांट्स टू रीड?
Can I
टीचर
read, Sadaf?
टीचर कैन आई रीड.
यस प्लीज रीड.
Okay, teacher. The young man looked at him, smiled, and nodded. The young man gave me a brief, friendly look and sat before a huge book, which the landlord had pushed before him, making the necessary entries about himself and his intended stay. At this time, he discovered the sealed envelope containing the type sheet lying on table,
ऑन द
addressed
टेबल.
to him by name. He took the cover and tore it open. This coincided with the entry of the landlady into the room. She hurriedly asked her husband if this was the new guest, and having received confirmation, came forward and shook hands with the young man. Did you have a nice journey, Mr. David? She asked with her sweet smile. The young man smiled and nodded. Would you like to have a hot bath immediately or tea first?
थैंक
The
यू.
young man pursed
Sada.
his lips.
Thank you, Sada. So here, now it was a ritual for them to give the chit, the sealed type chit, to the guest. So here, the young man again looked at him, smiled and nodded. The young man gave me a brief. यानी the narrator is saying कि जैसे हमारी नजर मिली, friendly look and sat before a huge book which landlord had pushed before him, making the necessary entries about himself and intended stay. तो अभी इन लोग ने देखा, स्माइल किया, नॉट किया एक दूसरे के सामने, लाइक आफ्टर दैट ही सेट बिफोर अ ह्यूज बुक जो लैंडलॉर्ड ने उसको पास किया था, टू राइट द नेसेसरी एंट्रीज अबाउट हिम कि वो कौन है, नेम, कितना दिन रुकने वाला है, एवरीथिंग. At this time, he discovered the seal enveloped containing the lying on the table. Now, at this time moment, the young man got to know about this sealed envelope, which was addressed to him by name. उसके नाम की चिट्ठी हुई थी,
टीचर
लिखी
कैन आई
हुई थी.
स्पीक.
What you want to speak? He took the cover and tore it open. Now he took the cover, he opened it. वो रूम के अंदर आई. She hurriedly asked her husband if this was the new guest. और जल्दी जल्दी में पूछा कि ये नया गेस्ट है, हमारा नया मेहमान है. And having this in confirmation, उसने सब कुछ कर लिया, confirmation वो सब हो गया. Came forward and shook hand with the young man. उन लोग का ये, you know, when she know everything about the young man, then she came forward, shook hands, उसने हाथ मिलाया with the young man. Now she is saying like, ask, did you have a nice journey, Mr. David? आपका सफर ख्याल से अच्छा रहा होगा, Mr. David. With her sweet smile, बहुत एक अच्छी मुस्कान देते हुए. The young man Smiled and nodded. Young man मुस्कुराया, वापस से उसने इशारे में हाँ बोला. Would you like to have a hot bath immediately or tea first? क्योंकि उसका हाल बेचारे का बेहाल था. Now Mrs. Bhandari is like, पहले आप गर्मा गर्म शावर से नहाएंगे या first you want hot tea? अभी, okay, now let me tell you who is going to read.
तुझे कौन चालने का नहीं?
Nakui Tamanna Zainab, can I do it?
Teacher Masani Zahra, can I read? Teacher Alari Alisha, can I read?
Yes, Halari Alisha, read. Halari Alisha.
Teacher, after Alisha, can I read? Masani Zahra.
First,
Teacher,
let
can I read
Alisha
after
read.
Alisha?
Alicia read. Alicia read.
Yes, teacher. Did you have a teacher? Did you have a nice dinner?
Now, did the young man.
The young man, the young man pursued. He leaped and shrugged his shoulder, implying that that one would be as good as the other, and that he and and preference
Preference.
preference
Preference.
preference
Rances. Preferences.
preference. Both the landlord and the
Alicia.
landlady
Alicia.
were
Alicia.
due now slightly
Alicia.
disconcerted by the guest, as he had not even dinged to reply adequately to their polite inquiries. The young man meanwhile took out the typed cheat and started reading it. As soon as he had gone through it, he looked around astonished. The little girl Pramodini was at the moment playing in courtyard. We could see her sitting near the flower beds.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So here the landlady asked the question like, would you like to have the hot bath or tea first? लेकिन what happened? The young man pursed his lips, यानी कि अपने होठों को दबाया and shrugged his shoulders. Like उन्हें ऐसे हम मना करते कि no no ऐसे बिना बोले इशारा with the shoulders like no, not really. He's not interested in any of, implying that one would be as good as the other and that he had not preference. ऐसा बता रहा था अपने shoulders को, मतलब शगड़ यानी कि हिलाते हुए like दोनों ठीक है लेकिन उसको अभी कुछ नहीं है. The landlord and the landlady were now slightly
Teacher, your voice is cracking.
Teacher, your voice is cracking. Teacher.
Teacher, your voice is cracking.
Hello, am I audible? Hello.
No.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello.
Teacher, your voice is very slowly.
Hello.
Okay, teacher, now.
Okay, now everything is fine.
Yes.
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 Yes. लैंडलॉर्ड एंड लैंडलेडी लाइक उनको अभी कुछ प्रॉब्लम हिचकिचाहट हो रही है कि हम इतने प्यार से पूछ रहे हैं और इसने एक भी सवाल का हमको जवाब नहीं दिया. एक भी सवाल का जवाब जो हमने इतने प्यार से पूछा उसको एक का भी जवाब नहीं दिया.
टीचर, आपका आवाज बहुत धीमा हो जाता है.
टीचर, आप थोड़ा जोर से बोलो.
Yes, teacher.
Teacher, you speak loudly.
I am speaking loudly. I'm speaking very loudly, but it um, just the connection problem. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, teacher, your voice is clear.
लेकिन थोड़ा लाउडली बोलना.
I am speaking loudly. Hello.
Teacher, अभी
Teacher, your voice is clear and loud.
Okay, thank you. So now, money मन में landlord और landlord lady जो है, they are like, this man seems suspicious. उतने में the young man meanwhile took out the type sheet. उसने type sheet जो लिखी हुई sheet थी वो लिया and he started reading it. As soon as he had gone through it, जैसे उसने सारा read किया, he looked around, astonished. वो astonished यानी कि surprisingly he was looking here and there. वो ढूंढ रहा था कुछ. The little girl.
Teacher voice is cracking.
breaking.
Teacher voice is cracking.
Hello.
टीचर वॉइस क्रेक हो रहा है.
Hello, am I audible, please?
यस.
अब टीचर सही
टीचर
आया.
अब पहले तो आता नहीं था.
Clear.
तो यंग मैन ने चिट पढ़ी और चिट पढ़ने के बाद नाउ ही इज सरप्राइजिंगली लुकिंग हियर एंड देयर लुकिंग आफ्टर लाइक कि वो लड़की कहाँ है. और वो लोग ने उसने जब नजर घुमाई तो उसने क्या देखा कि वो जो लिटिल गर्ल प्रमोदनी है वो बाहर कोर्टयार्ड में क्या कर रही है, खेल रही है. उनको दिख रहा था कि वो फ्लावर बेड यानी कि जहाँ पे फ्लावर्स थे लगे हुए फ्लावर बेड, वो फ्लावर्स होते हैं ना, दैट प्लेस with lots of flowers, planted flowers को flower beds कहते हैं. वो वहां पर बैठी हुई थी. See here. Okay. The young अभी कौन read करेगा?
टीचर कैन आई रीड हरियाणा?
Naku Tamanna Zainab, please can I
टीचर
read?
कैन आई रीड हरियाणा? टीचर
हाँ,
हरियाणा. टीचर हरियाणा.
Teacher Masani Zahra, can I read?
टीचर हरियाणा कैन आई रीड?
Teacher Masani Zahra.
कैन आई रीड? टीचर हरियाणा कैन आई रीड?
बानो.
Teacher Sakina Helena.
टीचर कैन
Sayyed
आई
Sakina, open your mic. Sayyed Sakina will read. Sayyed Sakina read. Open your mic first. Sayyed
Yes,
Sakina.
teacher, कहाँ से read करूँ?
यहाँ से. The young man looked.
किधर?
The young
The young man looked.
The young man looked at all of us with a smile and back, backed out,
darted out towards
darting out towards
her.
her new now this is very stranging
Strange.
us the
Mrs.
strange
M-R-S Andari
Miss Bandari cried out in
protest.
fruits who
Protest. P-R-O. Pro-T-E-S-T test. Protest.
protests who
How?
how he
Rude.
is
Rude. No. How
rude,
rude.
how rude
He
is
he is.
he is have
He
shall
shouldn't
he shouldn't have
ignored
ignored your in
our O-U-R
our
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 request.
request like this
This
the
landlord
landlord put in more
mildly.
mildly.
Mildly. Thank you. Thank you, Sakina.
Bye, please.
Okay, thank you. So, Abhi, the young man read the cheat and now he's looking here and there. They found the Pramodini, the little child, who was playing near the courtyard. She was playing in courtyard near the far back. They got the gun. The young man looked at all of us with a smile and darted out towards her. अभी young man जो है वो जो जवान था उसने सबको देखा स्माइल किया and darted out. Darted means made a sudden quick moment. जल्दी से फटाफट से अचानक से वो प्रमोदनी के पास चला गया. Now this is very strange. Mrs. Bandari cried out in protest. अभी ऐसा नहीं थोड़ा सा ऐसा हल्के से बुरा लगा हो और आप बोलते हो वैसा वाला. अभी मिसेस भंडारी ने क्या कहा? Now this is very ये अभी अजीब है. ये बहुत अजीब है. How rude he is. वो कितना rude है. He shouldn't have ignored a request like this. अभी इतना
टीचर रूड गया ना
नहीं. You know, अभी wait. का जो कभी कभार ऐसे बदतमीजी कर दे. Wait, let me give you the Hindi word of rude. असंस्कारी जिसके अंदर संस्कारी ना हो अशिष्ट असंस्कारी समझ आया असंस्कारी बदतमीज
यस
rude means बदतमीज ओके सो अभी क्या बोला कि कितना बदतमीज है कितना रूड है Should have ignored our request like this. The landlord put in more mildly कि इतना अच्छे से हमने रिक्वेस्ट मतलब किया कि और उसको ऐसा हमको इग्नोर नहीं करना चाहिए था. Now, Charanya Kul Fatima, please read.
Okay, teacher. Uh, Now this is very strange. Mr. Bandari cried out to protest. How rude he is! He should not have ignored our respect like this. The landlord put in more medley. I too was a bit upset, for it was obvious that our effort to save Brahmanis
Pramodini,
Barman
embarrassment.
Barmaid from stranger was going to fall in the instant. After few moments, we all walked out to the veranda. The scenes that confronted us was something we least expected to see. The strange young man was wrestling on the grassy ground. Wrestling in the grassy ground, and Pramodni was sitting on his lap. He was showing her the flower, and suddenly, like the sound of a gun exploding, the string animal like lather of Pramodni reached the air.
Okay, thank you. अभी they were talking like कि अपने बात करते कि ये कितना बदतमीज है ऐसा उसको हमको इतना इग्नोर करने की जरूरत नहीं थी. और now narrator is also expressing his feelings like कि I was too bit upset कि मैं भी थोड़ा सा upset था नाराज था. For that, it was obvious that our effort to save Pramodini's embarrassment from strangers was going to fail in this instance. अभी जो हमने efforts लगाए थे कि प्रमोदिनी को किसी भी stranger से embarrassment ना embarrassing कोई moment तो ये अभी इस आदमी की वजह से वो हमारा जो effort है वो fail होने वाला था. After a few moments, we all walked out to the veranda. और थोड़ी देर के बाद हम सब वरांडा में गए. The scene that confronted us was something we least expected to see. अभी जो हमने नजारा देखा, सीन देखा, वो हम में से किसी ने भी सोचा नहीं था, किसी को भी अंदाजा नहीं था कि ये हम देखेंगे. The strange man, young man was
Teacher, your voice is cracking.
चलाई हो. The shrewd animal-like laughter of Pramodini pierced the air. जैसे किसी ने गोली चलाई हो, वैसे वाला प्रमोदिनी की हंसने की आवाज. Okay, now who is going to read? दातारी सकीना. दातारी सकीना. She left the car. Okay, वकील सदफ.
Teacher.
वकील सदफ. वकील सदफ, can you hear me? Okay, Sumrani Zahra.
Can I read now with Tamanna Zainab?
Sumrani
Yes,
Zahra.
teacher.
Okay, read next.
Okay. At this time, he discovered the sealed envelope containing the typed lying on the table, addressed.
Where are you reading, Zahra?
Teacher, from where I have to do?
That you should know now. Teacher आपके साथ ही तो explanation कर रही है. So,
Teacher, voice is
hello,
cracking.
everyone. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, Zara, I'm giving you the last chance. From next time, you have to pay attention. Okay? Pick out page number 95 from the first line. Zara Sumrani, page number 95,
Yes,
first line. The parents looked at each other with wonder and amazement. Jaldi, we have to finish this chapter today.
the parents looked at each other with wonder and amazement. Our daughter has not laughed like this years, Mr. Bhandari
Like
said.
4 years.
Curious, we watched the two of them who were now walking hand in hand. Pramodini then ran to her mother and danced about her with joy. She made her queer sound of mama, mama, and Widley
Mama.
pointed to the young man. It was Mr. David who came to our rescue. We soon realized that he was deaf and dumb too. The next day, Mr. Bhandari was full of news. She mentioned the stranger and plans for the betterment of Mudni he had outlined to her and her husband. There were schools for such
People,
teacher.
he told them. Yes, who is this?
Teacher, teacher
Yes,
Masani Zahra, can I
yes,
read?
continue. Yes, continue.
टीचर नाउ टीचर पहले ना सुमरानी जरा रीड कर रही थी.
I know. Then she stopped. Now you continue from where she stopped.
Okay. The next day, Mr. Gandhari was full of
Mrs.
news. What teacher?
Mrs. MRS means Mrs. Bhandari.
Okay, teacher. The next day, Mrs. Bandari was full of news. She mentioned the stranger and the plans for the betterment of Pramodni Pramodini he had outlined to her and her husband. There were schools for such people. He had told them through they were beyond most people means. He had himself been educated in one such institution abroad and had now returned to India to render the same useful service to others by starting a school here. She almost broke down with gratitude when she said that he had agreed to accept Pramodini as his first pupil. He had emphatically
Emphatically
emphatically start,
stated.
stated stated that the girl could, in course of time, live almost as normal a life as any one of us who had the power of hearing and of speech. Mrs. Bandari laughed like a carefree girl. She gave us an extra helping of jam and butter and honey at the table. She looked the happiest woman in the world. An abridged version of Chaman Nahal's story by the same name.
Okay, thank you so much. So here the last paragraph here. Now what happened? The parents Abhi they heard the this jungly sound of this laugh from their daughters. Now both of them are curious, amazed, happy at the same time with lots of wonder. That our daughter has not learned like this for years. हमारी बेटी ने ऐसी बरसों से उसकी ऐसी हंसी हमने नहीं सुनी, वो कभी भी ऐसे नहीं हंसी. ये कौन बोली? मिसेस भंडारी यानी कि प्रमोदिनी की मम्मी. Curious, जिज्ञासा थी. We watch, हम दोनों इसको ऐसे curiously देख रहे थे. We watched the two of them who were now walking hand in hand. अभी दोनों ने हाथ पकड़ के they were walking hand in hand, वो हमारी तरफ आ रहे थे. प्रमोदिनी then ran to her mother and danced about her with joy. और फिर उसके बाद थोड़ी देर के बाद प्रमोदिनी ने वहां से वो भागी और उसकी मम्मी के पास गए और वो इतना she was dancing like about with joy, with love, with happiness. She made her queer sound of mama. Strange sound जो होता है ना, जो अजीब sound होता है like ma 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 ऐसे बोल के she was happy and she was widely pointing to the young man. वो मामा को उसको point कर रहे थे. किसको? मिस्टर डेविड को point कर रहे थे. It was Mr. David who came to our ये rescue यानी कि ये मिस्टर डेविड थे जो हमको बचाने के लिए आया था, हमारी मदद करने के लिए आया था, हमको बचाने के लिए आया था. We soon realized that
टीचर ये कौन सा लेसन है?
फिर उनको पता चला कि ये भी डेफ है, ये भी डम है, सेम लाइक द लिटिल गर्ल. The next day, अभी दूसरे दिन मिसेस भंडारी was full of news. बहुत अच्छी खबर लेकर आई मिसेस भंडारी. She mentioned the stranger and the plans of for the betterment of Pramodini he had outlined to her and her husband. अभी वो टेबल पर उसने सब क्या बताया कि ये जो stranger
Teacher, your voice is cracking too much.
नहीं है. He had himself educated in one such institution abroad. और वो खुद एक ऐसे institution यानी कि जहाँ पर deaf और dumb लोगों के लिए है, जिस स्पेशल लोगों के लिए वो वहां पर उसने पढ़ाई की है, जो अब्रॉड है यानी कि that is out of the country. इंडिया के बाहर है. And now he had returned to India. अभी वो वापस इंडिया में आया है to render. Render means कि same सर्विस प्रोवाइड करने के लिए दूसरों को जो उसको मिली है अब्रॉड में. And when she said that he had agreed, और उसके बाद उसने क्या कहा कि वो उसने प्रमोदिनी को उसका पहला प्यूपिल प्यूपिल यानी कि स्टूडेंट पहले स्टूडेंट के लिए उसने उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया.
टीचर
The girl could in course of time. Yes.
अभी थोड़ी देर पहले आप कुछ समझा रहे थे ना, नहीं समझ आया, क्रैक हो रहा था, नहीं सुनाई दे रहा था.
कहाँ से कंटिन्यू करूँ मैं? कहाँ तक समझ में आया, कहाँ तक सुना? तमन्ना कहाँ तक सुना आपने?
टीचर ये इसमें मामा मामा कह रही थी, वहां से उसके बाद थोड़ा सुना और फिर है ना क्रैक होने लगा था, इसलिए मैं रीज्वाइन हुई तो नहीं समझ आया.
हाँ तो जो प्रमोदनी है वो she was pointing to Mr. David. वो मिस्टर डेविड को पॉइंट कर रही थी. और उसके बाद क्या उसको उन लोग को फिर मालूम पड़ा कि मिस्टर डेविड जो है वो भी गूंगा बहरा है. That he is deaf and dumb too. और उसके दूसरे दिन सुबह मिसेस भंडारी एक अच्छी खबर लेकर आई कि ये जो मिस्टर डेविड है उसने प्रमोदिनी को कैसे ठीक कर सकते हैं, बेहतर बना सकते हैं, उसकी मदद कर सकते हैं. वो सारा जो प्लान है, आउटलाइन है, वो मिस्टर एंड मिसेस भंडारी को बताया कि वो खुद भी एक अब्रोड में ऐसे इंस्टीट्यूशन से पढ़कर आया है जो ऐसे बच्चों के लिए स्पेशली बनाया गया है. और ये जो मिस्टर डेविड है वो खुद ये सब वहां से सीख कर इंडिया में आया है ताकि वो सारा जो चीज उसने सीखा है वो इंडिया आकर ऐसे बच्चों को सिखा सके. जो चीजें उसने सीखी है वो यहाँ पर ताकि वो भी दूसरों की तरह नॉर्मल पीपल्स की तरह अपनी जिंदगी को व्यक्त कर सके. नाउ मिसेस भंडारी laugh like a carefree girl. जैसे बेपरवाह, लाइक कितना ही बड़ा बोझ निकल
टीचर आपका वॉइस बहुत क्रैक हो रहा है. टीचर योर वॉइस इज नॉट.
वो हमारा चैप्टर यहाँ पर एंड होता है. तो आपको अच्छा लगा ये चैप्टर?
यस.
समझ में आया? अच्छा लगा कि हाउ दे
यस.
Yes, yes.
mention about प्रमोदनी and one day अचानक मिस्टर डेविड ने उनके सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर दे दिया, सारे मुश्किलों को आसान कर दिया और एक रास्ता बताया कि देयर इज अ वे. डोंट वरी, प्रमोदनी भी दूसरे बच्चों की तरह खेल कूद सकती है, अपनी लाइफ को स्पेंड कर सकती है. सो नाउ लेट मी टेक योर अटेंडेंस. और नेक्स्ट टाइम से नेक्स्ट लेक्चर से हम लोग करेंगे ग्रामर. ओके
ओके. ओके टीचर.
टीचर इसकी पीडीएफ कब डालोगे? टीचर इसकी पीडीएफ कब डालोगे?
रिजवी कुम फातिमा.
प्रेजेंट.
रिजवी कुम फातिमा के बाद कपासी तथीर. कपासी तथीर.
सारनिया कुम फातिमा प्रेजेंट.
Present teacher.
तैवानी सना.
Present teacher.
प्रेजेंट टीचर.
आज पीडीएफ आ जाएगी ना?
यस इंशाल्लाह.
टीचर हरियाणी हिना प्रेजेंट.
नूरानी. नूरानी तस्कीन, जब आपका नाम आएगा ना तब आप प्रेजेंट बोलना है. उसके
Present
पहले
teacher.
कोई भी अपना नहीं करेगा. मसानी.
प्रेजेंट.
मसानी जरा. ओके. मुखी सदफ.
Present.
राजानी तंजीम.
प्रेजेंट.
मसानी जहरा प्रेजेंट. सुमरानी जहरा.
टीचर आपने
Stand
मेरा
up.
नाम नहीं बोला।
What is your name?
प्रेजेंट टीचर।
चानिया कुम फातिमा।
चारण्या कुम फातिमा, सबसे पहले मैंने आपका नाम बोला।
टीचर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही थी इसलिए मुझे नहीं पता होगा।
ओके। जमानी लेजिन फातिमा।
प्रेजेंट टीचर।
टीचर जिसका
टीचर
नाम आता
टीना।
जाए और हम लोग प्रेजेंट बोल दे तो हम लोग लेफ्ट हो जाए।
हाँ, you can leave the class.
ओके टीचर, बाय।
Bye.
ओके टीचर बाय।
Bye. सैयद सकीना।
ओके टीचर बाय।
Bye bye.
प्रेजेंट टीचर।
नकवी तमन्ना जैनब।
बाय
प्रेजेंट
टीचर।
टीचर। बाय
जमानी
टीचर।
अलीना। Bye bye.
टीचर आपकी आवाज क्रैक हो रही।
Teacher, your voice is cracking.
टीचर योर वॉइस इज क्रैकिंग।
हलारी अलीशा।
टीचर योर वॉइस इज क्रैकिंग।
हलारी अलीशा।
टीचर मेरा नाम नहीं होगा, हरियाणा।
टीचर मेरा नाम नहीं बोला, हानिया मर्चेंट।
Hania Merchant, I called you out your name. And Hina Haryani,
पर
आप
टीचर आपका वॉइस
and
क्रैक हो रहा
हरियाणी
था।
हिना, अभी तक आपका नाम आया नहीं है, so सब्र करो प्लीज। Okay, Hania, I got your name.
टीचर हानिया मर्चेंट
Okay,
प्रेजेंट।
you can leave the class. Alisha Halari. Alisha Halari. Rajani. Fatima Zahra.
Present.
Okay. Charanya Sania Zahra.
Present teacher.
Okay. हरियाणी हिना।
प्रेजेंट टीचर।
बेटा आज आपका पहला दिन है हरियाणी हिना, आगे से मुझे आप एब्सेंट नहीं चाहिए। हाँ।
नो टीचर मैं पहले आई थी।
नो, आई डोंट हैव। अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ।
टीचर मैं आई थी, मैंने किया भी था प्रेजेंट।
बस आपकी सिर्फ 3।
टीचर आपकी आवाज क्रैक।
अलीशा प्रेजेंट। नकवी सानिया जैनब। नकवी सानिया जैनब। वकील सदफ।
टीचर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही।
वकील सदफ। वकील सदफ। ओके, शी इज नॉट। राजधानी महक। जमानी अलीना प्रेजेंट। चारण्य कुम फातिमा प्रेजेंट। जमानी लेजीन प्रेजेंट। राजानी फातिमा जहरा।
टीचर रोल नंबर 25 प्रेजेंट।
हाँ प्रेजेंट।
ओके टीचर।
रजबरिया फातिमा।
Present teacher.
ओके, आई गॉट एवरीवन्स नेम। कोई बाकी है? हु इज अल्ताफ भाई? ये अल्ताफ भाई की आरी कौन है?
टीचर मैं रसबरिया फातिमा।
ओके, नाउ यू कैन लीव द क्लास एवरीवन। बाय।
बाय।
बाय टीचर।